is muted. I'm unmuting. Hello and welcome to the Women of Power Hour. My name is Reverend Laura Topper, and I'm here every other week, opening up a dialogue and conversation with a guest that I bring on to share, that I invite on to share about this incredible adventure that we are on as women in the world. Now, when I say women, of course, I'm talking about really the divine feminine, how we open up to expressing ourselves as that. So all are welcome to listen here and to be a part of this conversation, because I believe that what is said here, even if it relates to us as we identify as women, of course it relates to the whole, because we're living here on this planet together as one collective. So I'm really, really excited to be sharing this time right now with Dr. Ruth Miller. Dr. Ruth has been on to the Cosmic Prayer one or two times, I believe, and on the Wisdom of the Mystic show with myself and Reverend Kathy Mastroianni. And today I'm just really overjoyed and excited to talk with her about the idea of women's empowerment and what it really means and how it has changed or will change into the future. Dr. Ruth Miller is best described as a synthesis of all things relevant to consciousness. How perfect. We're here on New Thought Media Network. She is the perfect guest. And human potential and culture. She works with academic institutions and individuals, nonprofits, churches, and small businesses to guide them through the confusion of today's world and into the new culture that is unfolding around us today. Dr. Ruth is a Reverend. She's a minister ordained in the New Thought tradition, and she offers an interfaith approach to spiritual development. And drawing on her experience as both a researcher of literature and a teacher and an author, and a teacher of intuitive methods, she has recently completed a project with the Institute of Noetic Sciences on channeling a mediumship. Wow, I missed that one a while ago. I'm interested in that. I'd love to talk about that. And her recent articles on futures research have been published in the prestigious Journal of Future Studies. So I am going to stop talking now and welcome Dr. Ruth Miller. Thank you so much for being here today. It's such a gift that you are here. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. It's always a delight.
Oh, and you're muted. I think you're muted.
I don't think so. I haven't muted me.
Oh, that's really strange. I can't hear you.
Very weird. Let me unmute, and maybe that will help.
Ooh.
We were just
Hello, talking. Are you there? Are you there?
Oh, hon. We were just fine.
I'm going to put you on to... Hello, are you there?
I am here.
You're there. Okay, I've taken you out of my speakers, so welcome here.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry you had an issue.
That's all right. It's no issue anymore. I'm excited that you're here, and you really are. You're like a wonderful fountain of all of this experience and the teachings and the knowledge and the wisdom that you bring to not only the New Thought arena, but also outside of this in the business world. And I know that, with the books that you've written and the women that you've researched and written about, it's very interesting, and I'm really interested to hear your idea of women's empowerment and what that really means. We use that term so much, and we hear it so often. What does it really, really mean to be empowered as a woman?
Very, very cool. So every culture has a different version of what the role of woman might be. And at this particular time in history, one culture dominates all. And that culture is Western Europe / American, what I call empire culture.
Right.
Yeah. So as an anthropologist, which was my first I
I
came to
came
try
to
to
try to
understand
understand
how our
how our
idea of
idea of
women
women
compared to
compared
other
to other
cultures'
cultures'
ideas of
ideas of
women.
women.
And
And
as
as
a
a
spiritual
spiritual
student and
student and
teacher,
teacher,
I
I
looked
looked
across different
across different
religious
religious
traditions
traditions
to
to
see
see
what was
what
said
was said
about
about
women and what
women and
role
what role
women
women
played
played
in
in
various
various
traditions.
traditions.
So, for
So, for
example,
example,
in
in
the Indian
Indian
version of
version of
Buddhism,
Buddhism,
there's no
there's
room
no
for
room
women.
for women.
But in the
But in the
Tibetan
Tibetan
version
version
of
of
Buddhism,
Buddhism,
there is
there
both
is both
Tara, the
Tara, the
embodiment
embodiment
of the
of the
feminine
feminine
enlightenment,
enlightenment,
but
but
also
also
a
a
woman that's
woman that's
considered the
considered the
companion to
companion
the
to
number
the
one
number one
teacher
teacher
of Tibetan
of Tibetan
Buddhism,
Buddhism.
Sambhava,
Sambhava
had a
had a
companion, a
companion, a
consort,
consort,
and she
and
has
she
her
has her
own body
own
of
body of
material.
material.
So,
So,
in
in
Western
Western
tradition, do we
tradition,
have
do we have
anything like
anything
that?
like that?
And the
And
answer
the
is yes.
answer is yes.
And
And
how do we
how
look
do
at
we look
to talk
to
about
talk
the
about the
empowerment of
empowerment of
women
women
requires
requires
understanding
understanding
what we
what
think
we
women
think
are.
women are. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes. So
before what I
before what
call
I call
empire
empire
culture,
culture,
there's the
there's
woman's
the
sphere of
sphere of
activity and
activity and
power,
power,
and the men's
and the men's
sphere of
sphere of
activity and
activity
power.
and power.
By and
By
large,
and large,
own
own
circles,
circles,
hunting,
hunting,
fishing,
fishing,
going out
going
into
out
the
into the
world,
world,
bringing things
bringing things
back,
back.
that's the
That's the
men's
men's
realm.
realm.
By and
By and
large,
large,
granaries,
granaries,
berries,
berries,
sacred
sacred
spaces,
spaces,
the
the
food,
food,
clothing,
clothing,
shelter
shelter
realm
realm
is the
is the
realm of the
realm of the
feminine.
feminine.
And
And
in
in
traditional
traditional
indigenous
indigenous
cultures,
cultures,
those
those
circles
circles
rarely
rarely
open back
open back
except during
except
holy
during
days.
holy days.
Right?
Right?
Well,
Well,
something
something
that way
that
of
way of
living was
living was
normal
normal
for all
for
humanity
all humanity
prior
prior
to
to
about
about
6,000 years ago.
6,000 years ago.
Between
Between
10,000 BC and
BC and
4,000
4,000
BC,
BC,
things
things
shifted
shifted
in terms
in
of
terms of
climate,
climate,
glaciers
glaciers
were
were
melted and
melted and
moved up
moved
into
up
what we
into
call the
what we call
Arctic
the Arctic
Circle.
Circle.
They had
They
been down
had been
in
down
parts
in
Italy
Italy,
and across the
across
Ural
the
Mountains. They
mountains,
were
were
far
far
down
down
to
to
the Europe
Europe
area.
area.
And as
And
they
as
pulled
they
back,
back,
the people
the
who were
people who
living
were
glacial
living
life
glacial life
pulled back
pulled
with them.
back with them.
And the
And
people
the
who were
people who
living
were
valley, river
valley, river
valley, or
valley, or
lakeside
lakeside
expanded into
expanded
the
into
territory that the
territory that
glaciers pulled
was
back.
pulled back.
So those
So
people
those
who were
people
living
were
that
living that
egalitarian
Aryan but
life
life
expanded.
expanded. Right.
The people who
People
were
who were
not living that way,
living that way,
living as
living as
hunters
hunters
on the
on
ice,
the ice,
were
were
pushed back
pushed
to
back into
smaller and
smaller
smaller
and smaller
territories.
territories.
As I can
As I can
understand it,
understand it,
the
the
Caucasus
Caucasus
Mountains was
Mountains
one
was
of the
one of the
places
places
where
where
people who had
people who
lived
had
on the
lived
ice
on the
sheet
ice
stayed.
stayed.
And instead
And
of
instead of
hunting big
hunting
herds
big herd
of animals, they
animals, they
started
started
caring for
caring
big
for
herds of
herds of
animals.
animals.
And
Wow.
those
Those
folks in the
in the
Caucasus
Caucasus
lived
lived
a
a
life that
life
was
that was
focused
focused
on
on
the
the
male presence,
male presence,
the
the
bull,
bull,
the chief
the chief
hunter,
hunter,
and they
and
would
they would
spend
spend
their
their
leisure time
leisure
telling
time telling
stories
stories
about how
about how
wonderful this
wonderful
guy
this
was
guy was
in
in
dealing with
dealing
this
with this
animal and
animal
dealing
and
with
dealing
this
with
hunting
this
trip
hunting trip
or
or
managing the
managing.
bull. And the
And the
assumption was there was
was
one
there was
bull and many
and
cows,
many cows,
or
or
one ram
one ram
and many
and
ewes,
many ewes,
or one
or one
stallion and
stallion
many
and
mares.
many mares.
That's a very
That's a
different
very different
model
model
from
from
equal
equal
and
and
separate.
separate.
So
So
my
my
research
research
says
says
that that
that
group
that
of
group of
people
people
continue
continue
to
to
expand
expand
because you
because
gotta have
you
as
gotta have
many
as
women
many,
as possible. You gotta have
you
as
gotta
many
have as
cows as possible and as many offspring as possible. That is what measures well-being. As you continue to expand, well done. It's the echo. As you continue to expand, then the population is too much for the area. So you push people out.
Right.
And it turns out that starting about 4000 BC, I can document that every 200 years, a wave of people out of the Caucasus into the valleys around them. They went into what we call Turkey today, what was anthropologists Anatolia. They went into the fertile plains of Mesopotamia, and they went from there down into India.
Okay.
And they went from Turkey up into the Danube and across the mountains. And they went down into Africa through Egypt. And their notion of how to live was so different and so insane to the villagers who were living this egalitarian, balanced life for thousands of years,
Right.
that when they arrived, they basically discombobulated everything.
Yeah.
Every 200 years. Our first description of what that was like is called the Epic of Gilgamesh. The Epic of Gilgamesh describes one of these larger-than-life males who is running rampant through the town, taking whatever he wants, whatever girl he wants, whatever he thinks is appropriate for his own happiness and joy. But because he is the biggest guy around, he is technically the king. Now, we call him king. At the time, they just called him the chieftain, if you will, or the headman. In that world of egalitarian, the feminine represents the mother and the intuition and the emotion and the planet, the earth, and making things come forth, right? And the masculine represents the movement and the light and the power to get things done, right? So the way it was whoever was among the women the most complete embodiment of all those feminine qualities would be the teacher, the leader, the guide, the mentor for the other women. And whoever embodied most of those qualities, strength and power and the ability to get things done, taught all the guys. And the two of them would come together in the sacred marriage every year as a sign, an indication that they need both, and the two work together. When these big guys came out of the Caucasus, they end up being the guy who is running the masculine. And the feminine has to somehow allow for that. And that is how the guy becomes the king. It's also the beginning of what we call the harem. Because his notion is now she is his.
Right.
He owns her. She's his pal. He's the bull. And he needs more pals. Her notion is, I am the embodiment of power. And you are the embodiment of another form of power. And together we are the power that make balance happen and harmony happen in our lives. Well, that's the world prior to 4000 BC. In that period between somewhere around 2000 BC and 4000, we got these guys coming in and starting to do this. And on about 4000, someone said, okay, not only am I in charge of this community, I'm taking over that one and that one and that one and that one and that one. His name was Sargon. And we call him the first emperor. So 4000 BC, 6,000 years ago, we have a culture that is no longer based on equal and balance, but on owning and controlling.
Ownership.
And that begins to spread because that's the nature of the culture.
Yes.
I expand, I take over. The way I shorthand empire culture is acquire, accumulate, and control. And that is now the dominant world culture. When I started studying anthropology, they would designate about 5,000 cultures in the world. About 20 years ago, I did an estimate of about 500 different cultures in the world. And now we're down to maybe 150 that are not controlled or managed or significantly influenced by this empire culture of acquire, accumulate, and control.
So the empire culture is dissolving.
Yes.
And yet there are still fragments of that which are, well, they're more than fragments, aren't there? Because we're feeling the conflict of this now in with what's happening. I mean, look at Iran and the way that women are now, young women are just saying, I've had enough, I'm not going to live like this anymore, I'm not going to live under this suppression anymore.
Right.
And so, fearlessly
right.
putting their lives on the line for this.
They are.
And how can you see that this can be a really, can this be a new paradigm right now? Is this, or would it take more?
Well put. To be in reaction to cannot be ignorant.
Right.
However, to recognize that each of us has inherent worth and dignity and needs to be honored, that should be the basic paradigm.
Yes.
And that I think is where they're coming from. So this dominant culture of the empire has been fragmenting for a couple hundred years as different groups of people within that ownership, control, oppression framework. No, I don't think so. I'm breaking through. I'm breaking through. And the women's rights movement, the women's suffrage movement were part of that 100 years ago. And the civil rights movement was part of that. And the breaking up of the British Empire was part of that.
Yes.
The formation of the Commonwealth and now the breaking up of the Commonwealth.
Yes.
All of those are part of that. No, you are not going to be on top of me anymore.
Yes.
So what I'm thinking is emerging is we had a little bit separate. Then we had one dominating over the other. And now we're saying what is beginning to emerge is this one integrated oneness, where all of this, as you pointed out, recognize we have the masculine and the feminine aspects in all of this. We all have masculine power and feminine power. It's no longer out there, but separate. It's in here, merging together into something that is absolutely marvelous. What's happening in Iran is a continuation of what we call the women's suffrage movement.
Yes,
absolutely.
And
there were men helping us. And that was a continuation of the abolitionist movement, which includes people of all genders and races and creeds. Wow.
And just to kind of interject on that, Emily Pankhurst, who who I mentioned before we came on, Emily Pankhurst, she chained herself to the railings in I think it was 1918 or 1914. She chained herself to the railings, and then until 1918. That's right. She fearlessly, she was in and out of prison. And the suffrage movement was very bold. They were in and out of prison.
They were
regularly. They were just like, oh, here again, I'm here again in prison. They really, really were standing up for what they believed in. 100 years later, they build a bronze statue of her outside of Parliament to recognise what she had, what she had, and her cohorts had actually achieved for women in the UK and around the world, to have this vote, to have the vote, to be heard, to be seen. And that just really came flooded into my kind of consciousness when I saw pictures the last week of the young women in Iran just completely so fearlessly, just boldly saying, I don't care if I die.
Yeah.
I'm standing up for this. And as reactionary as it is, something has to happen to shift the way that they're being accepted and the way that they're being, that they can express themselves or not. Because I just took that for granted.
I hear you. When I was in graduate school, a number of my students were from Iran. And they were absolutely delighted that the secular dictatorship was being overthrown by these enlightened religious leaders. And the methods that were being used were fax machines and mimeograph machines because the dictatorship controlled the phone lines and the media, which was all that was available to people to reach. But fax lines couldn't control. And mimeograph machines they couldn't control. So these things work. Today, in Iran, it is turned out that power was corrupted, and now they have a dictatorship again, and it's not enlightened, and it's not even really religious. It's about power and control. And the people of Iran are working around the control over the internet and the media and the telephones with VPNs, virtual private network, to be able to get to each other and information they need. I think that's marvelous. It tells us how brilliant those people are.
Yeah.
And it's not just the kids. So I was listening to an interview the other day where his grandmother had him together for her nephew.
Right.
Yeah. So here we are, full circle, from 50 years ago, when the people of Iran were saying, no more. I will do whatever it takes to not have this control power thing run my life. You know, when police feel they can knock someone down because of a minor infringement of a social norm, that's power. That's a power thing. That's not about rights. That's not about recognizing anything.
And yet, when you're saying that, what comes to me is George Floyd. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing in a different country, and maybe with a different intention. It's this idea that a seeming authority can have control over people, over one person, because of either what they're wearing, what they're doing, what color they are, what their beliefs are, what their religion is. And that we're not really putting into practice this idea of oneness.
Not at all in most parts of empire culture. Because that other piece, the guy who say, I can have whatever I want, control whatever I want, does not consider anyone else to be equal. It sets up caste and class and the oppression. So what we see in ancient empires is anyone who is a worker is just one step above an enemy.
Right.
What we see in modern empires is anyone who is a worker is one step above a machine. Right? We are cogs in the machine, replaceable, etc. So some of the work that I'm doing, and the book I'm working on right now, is how to transform a corporate culture from that model to a model where we are all equally learning and leaders in an authentic community, generating the good for everybody within the organization and out there, and making a good profit in the process. That's the book I'm working on. With a wonderful man named Casimir.
Wow, and that's this whole that's a new paradigm in itself.
Exactly.
Leadership and knowing that the whole is no greater than the sum of its parts. The whole is the sum of its parts, and that we are all needed and we're all a part of this, the one. There's nothing outside of the one. So where do women fit into that?
Well done. Women know this.
Yeah.
It's inherent in the way our physiology is that most women are aware of the interconnectedness of all life.
Yes.
It's not inherent in male physiology, and it's definitely not trained in a culture that says, I'm the bull, you're the cows.
Yes.
Right. So we need to find ways for more and more people to understand what you just said. And I think what we're seeing in Iraq and in the Black Lives Matter movement and in many of these other things happening around the world is people who experience young enough the importance of and worth of every other human being and every other being on the planet, that they can make choices based on that understanding. Now, historically, within our culture, that's 1% of the whole culture. So if we have 8 billion planet on the Earth, 8 billion people on the planet, we have potentially 800 or 8 billion people thinking this way. Isn't that cool? And if we actually experience the benefits of this incredible media that is forged in Western and American culture, Western European American culture, we probably are more like 250 million, 250 million, or even more people, because the media is reaching them, whether it's through the internet or through Disney movies or through the books and stories and songs, the Beatles, etc., who are saying, hey, wake up. We are all worthy, and we need to love one another, right? So then there is this new thought movement, which is 1% of the 1%.
Right.
And in this movement, we have another layer, another level that we can work with. And I do believe there are people around who know this, because it's fundamental mystic movement in every religious tradition.
Yes.
That when we know and we enter that state that is called prayer, I'm not talking about the words, I'm talking about the state of consciousness of union. When we enter that state knowing truth, then it affects the whole world. Women in ancient cultures and indigenous cultures have known that, have trained their young men to understand that. I used to say that the Caucasians somehow lost track of what grandmother understood. The grandmothers were not involved in raising kids. But in most indigenous cultures, the grandmothers are very much involved in raising kids. So the male get that understanding and begin to work from that. And they learn to work cooperatively with the feminine, rather than trying to control them, which was what Western culture, empire, has been teaching us. If we can recognize that, we can see that these young people you're talking about are that group of people who have got the message, either through the prayer work or through the media that has been inspired by prayer work, because creativity is inspirational, right?
Yes.
Then they are seeing and living from that paradigm that you're talking about, of the inherent worth and dignity of everyone. And they are saying, whatever it takes to wake people up, I will do.
And there are so many layers to this, aren't there? Because it is religious, it's cultural, it's political,
it's technological,
it's technological, it's spiritual. It feels as if people have to break through each of these layers independently or together to actually make a change. It really saddens me that, I read it today, 200 people have actually, died in the last couple of weeks because of this, all young people. And that has to be a part of the process is very disturbing. It's very upsetting.
It is disturbing and totally unnecessary, as you know. But from the point of view of someone who believes that he is only safe if he has control, it seems necessary in order to keep that control. So the world will change when those people, primarily men, who believe they are only safe if they control everyone around them, are no longer functioning in whatever role it is. There's a tradition or an understanding out of the 60s by a guy named Thomas Kuhn. It's The Structure of Scientific Revolutions is the name of his book. But it's demonstrated over and over again that when a new idea enters the cultural arena, it takes basically 3 generations for it to become normal.
Right.
Now, all the things that I talked about, the civil rights movement and the countries breaking away from the empire, happened in the mid-60s. We're not 65 years from the mid-60s yet.
No.
2040 is 75 years. Yeah. And my belief, my understanding, and my research supports that as we approach 2040, there will be more and more of these crises as these people who are stuck in fear and control are pulled down, pulled away, whatever. And by 2040, there will be almost no one like them on the planet. And this new paradigm, which is the ancient paradigm of the inherent dignity of all beings, becomes the norm again. Without the equal but separate, without anyone trying to control, but with all of us working together. The suffrage movement, women's suffrage movement 100 years ago, was mostly women. Yeah. There were a few supportive. That's not what's happening in Iran today.
No, it's not.
And I think that's huge.
Yes.
Okay. That's not what's happening in India today. That's not what's happening. Well, even if you look at the Black Lives Matter, it's not just people of dark skin, it's people of all races, colors, and creeds coming together. There's many ways in which we're seeing that. And one of the, you were going to.
Oh, no, you continue.
Okay. One of the things about this time in history is that in some ways it conforms to the indigenous prophecies that said the Creator separated the races, the red people, the black people, the yellow people, the brown people, and the white people, to each develop in their own way. And then, when the cord of the ashes is spilled, which refers to the nuclear bomb, they will come together and they will mix. Now, either they will mix peacefully or it will be a violent clash. That was the prophecy. And a piece of the prophecy that I try to get a kick out of is that when the creators created the races, each of them were given 2 stone tablets that explained how they could live comfortably on the planet.
Oh,
and the story is that when the races come back together, they certainly have in almost every continent now. If all of those stone tablets had been honored, it would be a very peaceful coming together, and the whole world will blossom into a whole new way of being. But if anybody has broken those tablets, then it will be peaceful, or not peaceful. It'll be a clash. Well, we have a tradition in the Judeo-Christian teachings
the Ten
of
Commandments.
out of anger,
Yes.
breaking the tablet.
Yes.
And so they stick together rather than sad. Whether we stick together peacefully or whether we clash, we must emerge into new culture. The energy of the universe, for lack of a better term, the dynamics of living systems in another framework are such that it cannot happen. The question is how many and how peaceful.
Yes.
How many people will be the remnant that survives?
Yes.
And how peacefully will that happen? Most of my work as an adult has been to make the transition as peaceful as possible, both as a futurist and as a millionaire. I try to bring the feminine and masculine together in me, in my work. Unfortunately, not every person listening. So that brings up another critique, if you're open to it.
And, I'm holding out now to 2040. It's not long, is it? It's like 18 years, and we can feel and see and feel and know a huge shift.
Yep.
And I tune into a couple of associations and all sorts of things actually, but I know that even in the Jewish women and the Palestinian women are making so many conscious efforts to engage with each other and to love each other and to hold this space of peace.
And young people in both groups. Yes. Lots of that happening. And it's going on. Well, David Zaslav used to talk about it in the 90s. It's been going on for a while. And then there's Women in Black, where women from all parts of the community come together, stand together where they think conflict is going to happen, where they've been told through the grapevine it's going to happen, and stand there so the conflict doesn't happen. Wow.
Yes.
Right?
So how can we here in what I would see as a seemingly peaceful, of course there's no, but how can you, how can the viewers that, that are watching right now or whenever really make a change and be a part of this movement to heal what is going on? What can we actually do?
The number one thing is another fundamental principle in this self. The world out there is reflecting my consciousness in here.
Yes.
If there is violence out there is some kind of emotional in here. So I need to do the work that I can do to minimize my internal conflict. I need to see where I have needed control, where I have, out of my own fear that I won't be okay, attempted to make other people do what I want.
Right.
And all those things, as I become aware of those in me, then I can use our principles, our methods, and any other healing method I know to take that idea, that belief, and dissolve it. When I teach Emma Curtis Hopkins material, lesson 2 is negate the beliefs that no longer work.
Yes.
Right? If I have believed that I wasn't safe, I need to dissolve that. I need to let it go and know that in one presence and one power that is good, there cannot be any place where I'm not safe. Oh my goodness, I need to let go of any other idea. And as I let go of those ideas for me and enter into that prayer state, I can help everyone begin to experience that more fully.
So our work is in consciousness.
Always. Then, what is amazing to me is as I get into that place of clarity, an action emerges, an inspired action becomes clear. It might be call someone, write someone, get out and do something, follow up on something else. You commented during our free session time on the work that I've done to help create housing for people. Every one of those was an inspired action. Every one of those spaces that I've created that people might not, who might not otherwise have had a place to live, now have a place to live, was a function of being in that prayer space, knowing that all is well, that beauty and comfort and ease are our norm, our birthright. And being aware and open to what the universe calls me to do next. And I think I haven't totaled it all up, but I am personally responsible for at least 50 housing units, and I'm indirectly responsible for over 500.
Wow.
Doing that.
Wow. It's incredible. And the power of setting an intention.
The intention is the quality, not the specific. I didn't set out to build houses or to rehab houses, or I set out to know that all beings get to live peace and comfort and ease. Yes.
So we live from the spiritual quality rather than from how we think it's going to show up.
Because the how comes from the why and the what. Yeah, I used to say, and I continue to still have to say this to students, I'm responsible for the what and the why. The universe is the how.
For the how. So to support our sisters around the world with any kind of turmoil that's going on, with any kind of trauma, with any kind of feeling of suppression or abandonment or abuse or control, as we set that intention of the what and not the how, we're allowing spirit, we're allowing God to transform the situation in a way that we can't even imagine.
And I would add one step before that. Okay? To know with and for our sisters that they can live peaceful, comfortable, ease-filled, beauty-filled, joy-filled lives.
Yes.
I delete any other idea in me,
yes,
including any memories, including any images I got on TV or the radio. Yeah. All of that's to get to that point of clarity of knowing that in the one power, the one presence, whatever name we give it, all that exists is joyful, blissful beings. And as I know that for me, I extend that knowing into the world around me for all women, all beings, everywhere. And as women who resonate with me begin to pick up on that, then they will extend it. And they will have that effect on everyone around them.
And so, do you believe that the women now in Iran who are actually pushing through this and purposefully seeking a change for this, whatever the outcome for their lives, they're bold enough and courageous enough to stand up and be a part of this change, that on some level they are picking up on the consciousness of others around the world who are also rising up in their own consciousness and knowing this for others?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to the extent that they're willing, anyone in any active position is willing to let go of my ego determination of how it should be.
Yes.
And relax into the spiritual knowing of how it must be,
Yeah.
which I don't always do in me. Then my action is effective.
Right.
Not any. When I act my ego belief, I am not effective. When I act from that inspired knowing, then I have an impact.
So the women that are making this change are actually highly tuned in to what is possible right now.
The more powerful they appear, the more fully tuned in they must be.
Yes.
And frankly, there is a lot of thinking that says some people have signed up to sacrifice themselves in order that everyone else will wake up.
Yeah.
And I think that may be some of what's happening too.
Yes.
That I'm inspired. Okay, this is my moment. And I'm going to say something that some people find controversial, but I have lots of support for. This is my moment. I might be hanging on a cross. And I might say, Eli, Eli, Yani, Sabachthani. My God, this is what I was born for. This is why I'm here now. And it is.
Yes.
I have a feeling some of those incredible souls have been doing just that.
Yes. And so they're tuning into their soul calling, their mandate, their purpose, their true purpose, their spiritual essence.
Right.
And knowing why they're here and what they have to do.
And they know it because we didn't come together as women. We came together flashing. And they came into this lifetime hoping against hope that it would not be the vile passion, that it would be the coming together.
And unification.
Exactly. One of the things that may be useful for your viewers is this book, because this is where I lay out that process, whereby the co-equal masculine and feminine becomes the oppressor, and then the feminine goes underground. And in our culture, Madonna and Magdalene are the images, symbols of that power that has gone underground.
Yes.
And in the back, in the appendix, I lay out that every 200-year cycle thing.
That's fantastic, and that we that's on your website.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Along with a whole lot of getting
along with so many other books, and all of the information of what you are doing and workshops that you're giving. Are you giving any workshops? Are you giving a workshop series at the moment?
Online, no. I'm doing one on Saturday. I call Faith, Hope, and Politics.
Oh, wow.
And it's to look at what's going on in the U.S. and on all kinds of other countries with this nationalist movement and populist leadership to help us find what we talked about here. How do we find the place where we are empowered and inspired in that context? That's on Saturday. Sunday.
Is that a live workshop or online?
That one is live. And I'm hoping to record a version of it because people are saying, I want to see that.
I'm going to put your website up here just while we're talking for a couple of minutes, just to go through this page here.
That's
the books that you have authored, and look at this, incredible. There we go, Madonna, Magdalene and Beyond. And of course, The Science of Mental Healing, where you talk about the New Thought teachers, the ancient teachers.
And this one, the little green one, the uncommon prayer, is how to get into that state, regardless of what your spiritual tradition is.
And what is so powerful is that you are teaching from an inner faith perspective. And so your work can resonate with every single being here, whatever beliefs, whatever ideology. It's a way to expand our minds and open up to what is truly possible right now, the way that we can change the way that we think and feel, so that we can have a different lived experience. And I'm really feeling this right now, just such gratitude, because as we each do this individually, we're giving others permission to do this as well, because it's a shift in consciousness.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That concept of morphic resonance, that the beingness that I am is resonated with by millions of people I'll never ever see.
Yes.
But as I can be the best, the most fully unified being I can be, they are lifted into that too.
So, Dr. Ruth, what is your message here as we come to the close of the broadcast today? What would you say right now of how we can take just that extra step further from what we think we're doing, or what we think is enough, that extra step to be that empowerment for ourselves, and to give that, that message out to the world for other women around the world, that it's safe to express and it's safe to be who we are?
Wow. I think you did. The one piece I would say is, if something is distressing you, go inside, heal it. And from that place, you are the power. You are that which you are seeking to experience more of in the world.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, my dear.
It's
always a treat to work with you.
Oh, it's always great, and I know you're going to be back and sharing more. You'll be back to share about your new book.
It's being written as a scholarly book, but I hope it'll make a difference.
Okay, we can have the easy to read version when you come back.
All right.
Yeah. And great, thank you to everybody for being here, whether you've been popping in live or if you're watching this on the replay. Reverend Dr. Ruth Miller, always a joy to be with and to share and to learn from and to grow from. And we will be back here in 2 weeks' time with another Women of Power Hour, and next week with Reverend Kathy Mastrani with Wisdom of the Mystics, where we're going to be with Dr. Peggy Hostletter talking about Nona Brooks, which will be very...
One of my favorites.
Yeah. So thank you to everybody, and thank you, Dr. Ruth. Until next time, from the Women of Power Hour show.
Thank you so much.